Yes, the messenger any percent no out of bounds. Now, since this is Stryzer's channel, I'm assuming some of you are familiar with the out of bounds route, which skips a lot of the levels. I'm going to be showcasing all of it, for better or for worse. Looking at you, Forlorn Temple. Uh, in my opinion, this is one of the most interesting runs in the messenger, uh, especially since it doesn't skip anything. Out of bounds to me it has a lot of downtime. This doesn't, but it also has more annoyingness. So hopefully we'll do well. I'm about ready to start.
Perfect.
Do we have?
I believe we are good to go when you are.
All right. So I can just give a countdown and
Of
I'll be
course,
on
it's
my
all
way.
yours.
Three, two, one, go. Just in case you weren't familiar with this game, this is The Messenger. It's about a ninja who doesn't really enjoy his current life. He thinks it's very boring. He just wants to go out and explore the world. And luckily for him, something's going to happen which will allow him to explore the world, which we'll see in a little bit. This stage is really nothing special, just a lot of boring jumping. We don't have any unlocks yet. Luckily we can skip all the text very easily. It's going to introduce us to the cloud step, which you'll see here. Every time you hit something in the air, you'll get an extra jump. This is pretty interesting, or it makes for some pretty interesting challenges in the game, and for some pretty interesting speedrun strats as well. Not in this stage, but we'll get into it. So demons are attacking, making this life a little bit more interesting. Luckily, the prophecy of the Western hero came true, and he's gonna stop the demons. Kind of. They've already done some damage, but 2 time shards, that's lucky. You have a chance to get some drops from those enemies over there. And we got both of them. So he's gonna give us our task, bringing the scroll to the top of a mountain, and we'll be on our way. And we're already done with the first stage. Look at us go. World record pace, by the way. Little cutscene before the first actual stage, which is Autumn Hills. This is where you'll really see the cloud step maneuver being used a lot. Nothing too special though. Still don't have any of the really cool powers. Just running to the right a lot. Unfortunate hit there. Gonna look to collect 40 time shards before the first chop, so we can buy the Strike of the Ninja, allowing us to destroy enemy projectiles and get a cloud step off of them. So we're doing really well on time shards. This is probably the most time shards I've ever gotten. I think that's the max. This is the shop. Not going to be spending a whole lot of time here, luckily. Well, unluckily. He's a very nice guy. Unfortunately, he's in Japanese, so... Unless you're fluent in Japanese. Not a lot to see there. So now we have the Strike of the Ninja. We can destroy enemy projectiles and get cloud steps off of them. Without it, you really can't do any cool strats, so very happy that we get this early on. Mainly this level is just trying to not stop holding right ever. There's a damage boost possible there, but I unfortunately failed it. Oops. Small movement mishaps into the water, making the music all muffled. Very cool. No, it's a little bit slower down here. Just a second before we get into actual gameplay again. I'm gonna try and do a cool strat. I'm gonna do the less risky variant of the strat. That is probably the smartest move because I don't get it a lot, but we'll see. Usually you damage boost through that saw, but I don't want to die, so I'm not gonna. So we're gonna try and jump over this tower here. got it damageless, so the damage boost wouldn't have killed us. Very nice. Now there is a harder variant of that trick, but it is much more difficult. Saves a little bit of time. Really the only notable trick in this level. The rest of it's just movements. As you can see, this room's actually pretty interesting too. Gonna skip it entirely, or basically entirely. Use some cool cloud steps. Very nice that I got that strat. Now this is where you'd see an out of bounds runner going down, so they can skip the boss and the rest of the level. Not us though. We're gonna fight the boss. Coming up in a second. We are so rich right now. This is a lot more time shards than you typically have at this point, but hey, I'm not complaining. Say hi to the shopkeeper again, grab shurikens and second wind, which will allow us to get a jump off of damage. It's kind of a confusing way to explain it. Hopefully I can get this first cycle here. There you go. Just barely. Very nice. You'll see more of the second wind in a second. We haven't really showcased it. It makes damage boosting a lot easier, mostly. And shurikens we mostly just use in this game for quicker boss kills, but there are some interesting times when we snipe enemies with them. So usually, in Out of Bounds run, this level is a slideshow, a PowerPoint presentation, if you will. But we're gonna play throughout the entirety of it, unfortunately, because it's one of the harder stages. Spikes deal 3 damage. Most enemies just deal 1, so in this stage it's kind of scary. If you ever get hit by spikes, it's very hard to feel safe anymore. Because checkpoints, they do refill your HP, but only up to 3, so you're still only 1 spike away from an untimely death. This level is very cycle-based. Gonna damage boost to that pendulum. That's gonna get a little bit scary. We got past. Saw blades also deal 3 damage, so if you don't go fast enough here, you might miss this cycle. But looks like we're gonna get it, thankfully. So far, so good. Definitely. Crushers also kill you in 1 hit, by the way, as you'd expect. So I'm thankful that we haven't died yet. There's a pretty cool damage boost here. Saves a little bit of time, but we are gonna have to pick up some HP along the way to the next damage boost, which we'll see in a second. Luckily, there's some HP for us right here. Beat the fireball. Very fast. First little RNG of the run. These whiz ropes can teleport wherever they want. Now the first 2 we're gonna kill with a well-timed shuriken and some slashes, but the third one, he can sometimes not be the nicest. Luckily, he wasn't too bad here. That's the second damage boost of the stage. You'll see me slashing a lot. That doesn't really do anything. I just like to mash buttons while nothing is happening. Good climb. There's a lot of cloud stepping there. Very cool. Pretty hard strat here. I'll see if I can get it. It's called Crusher Skip. Luckily, it does look like I'm gonna get it. It's a pretty tough cycle to beat, and it's death if you miss it, so... Almost died there too, because I forgot to jump. Going fairly well. Into the second boss fight, Ruxton. Now there's two ways this can go. He can either go up high or down low, and we're looking for him to go up high. So be a pal, Ruxton. He actually went high. Not gonna get him up on top of the platform. That is possible. I've done it before. But still, very clean kill. Into Bamboo Creek. This stage is very happy looking compared to all the skeletons of the last one. And also has an absolute banger of a theme, or soundtrack. It does include lyrics, but I won't burden you with those right now. Not the best singer. This stage is really fun. It really puts all the early game mechanics to the test, which you might have heard if you ever watched another marathon run of this game. Oops. As you can see, Cloud Step allowing us to skip a lot in this stage, which is cool. This is Halberd. We'll be seeing him a couple times throughout the game. He can't die. Let's go. Now that, you might be saying, no out of bounds. That looked like out of bounds to me. And to be honest, it kind of is, but we allow it because you don't actually break any boundaries. Like, you don't have to clip to get there. Really cool skip here. We'll see if I can get it. I'm gonna go for it again. Nah, alright. You can skip pretty much this entire screen by doing a trick called N2 skip. Shout outs to N2. We're still gonna get through it fairly fast though. Kinda sad I didn't get to show it off, but what can you do? More cool climbing with cloud steps. Very nice. I'm gonna look to have at least 251 before the end of the stage. Which looks like we'll accomplish that. Thank God we were so rich earlier, because we didn't get a lot of money on this stage. 252, very nice. When I mention numbers, it's typically about my time shard counts, which is what currency is in this game. That's the end of Bamboo Creek. This is Howling Grotto. Another indoor level. We're gonna pick up a new upgrade here. The wingsuit. Along with the water dash and acrobatics. Now without acrobatics you can only, you can't actually slash while in the wingsuit, but luckily we account for that by picking up all the money. And now we can. Hooray. missed the checkpoints. Hopefully that doesn't end up messing with us. Don't think so though. It just means I won't go for the harder strat, which I probably wasn't going to do anyway. This is DK Room, because it's reminiscent of the all-time arcade classic Donkey Kong. Now, there is a very hard strat you can do here, but if it fails, it's instant death, so not doing it. This level is kind of slow, in my opinion, or at least it feels kind of slow because there's a lot of floating and some vertical movements. Gotta bait that guy into throwing his boulder, which you did successfully. Cool water boost there. That's the upgrade we picked up alongside acrobatics. And if we use water boost slightly before jumping out of the water, we actually carry over that momentum. So by now you might have seen me do, hold on, that. A double slash on a lantern. That's one of the... I don't really want to call it a trick, because it's not really a trick, it's like built into the game. But it allows us to jump off the lantern with the cloud step left over. And you'll see me doing that a lot throughout the run. Hey! This track includes a couple of sound bites of the developers going, hey, so you like to go along with it. Now this boss is Emerald Golem. Pretty scary. Gonna have to hit him 8 times in the center. And then throw shuriken to finish him off, allowing us to do maximum damage to his core. Off the last shuriken left over, and that should be a 2 cycle. There you go. Pretty fast. This guy can be a little bit annoying. He went right and down, which is, I'd say, the second best option. He can go left as well, which allows to kill him really fast. But this is fine too. Now, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have my chat open, but I do. Thanks for the good luck. That was a pretty clean stage, all things considered. Into Quillshroom Marsh. Now this level is, again, a lot of holding right. That's what you'll find in the early game, when there's no speed tech to be had. The stage is pretty hard if you're new to the game, but once you get a little bit better, it's, we like to refer to it as glide attack and holding right. This is the longest horizontal room in the game, excluding auto-scrollers. And if you're good enough, which hopefully I am, you can actually traverse the entirety of it without stopping your movements. And at the end, you can use a bird to do... Typically birds are jerks in this game, but they also allow us to do some pretty cool tricks, like this. Now, I am skipping that checkpoint, because I'm overconfident. And there you go. This level doesn't really have too many interesting tricks either. It's a lot of optimized movements. Actually, there's a pretty cool thing coming up in a second. Well, a little bit more than a second, but you get the point. If I need it, you can pick up HP here, but I don't need it. Another checkpoint, skipping it. because again, we're overconfident. Okay, this is kind of a cool trick. Use 2 shurikens to kill the enemy and hit the lever, allowing us to not stop holding right, as of course is our goal. This section can get a little bit claustrophobic, but we made it through fairly convincingly. Now we are on 3 HP, so spike balls, pendulums, spikes, they'll all kill us in one hit. Very scary, considering... Oh, actually, we just got a checkpoint, so... We've got nothing to worry about. There's a cool trick here. I guess I'll go for it if I'm fast enough. We can jump over that platform. Typically, I don't even go for that, because it kills me so often. But, hey. There you go. That's going to be the end of the stage. Into the boss fight we go. I'll go for the quick kill. There's a lot of different kills for this boss. It's probably going to fail, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Should still be able to take her down pretty fast. We can just wait in the corner. She's 1 hit away from death. Snipe with a shuriken. And turn around, because cool guys don't look at explosions. Unfortunately, I took some damage, so I didn't get all the hits in you're supposed to get for the quick kill. And the Searing Crags, which I don't like. But at least we had a cool upgrade here in a second. Oops. So this is when it really gets interesting. We're gonna buy extra HP and HP drops, and we now have the rope dart, which is gonna turn this game from pretty speedy to very speedy. This jump can be a jerk sometimes. First try. So the rope dart is a very interesting thing. It makes you really fast, as you can see. You can rope dart everything. That's kind of our mantra. Just rope dart everything. Pretty cool little skip there. There's too much to explain here. I want to talk about the rope dart. The rope dart, it's you hook onto something, pulls you towards it, and then slashes with a sword. Unless it's a wall, in which case it doesn't slash. Let's see if we can get this trick. Heck yeah. It also gives you some invincibility frames, which will be important later, trust me. But mostly we just use it for movements. It's pretty important in boss fights too, because the slash it gives, you can use the slash it gives you in addition to your regular slashes. This screen is also pretty cool. Climbing up very fast. You'll see me rope darting one tile walls a lot, and that's because you don't wall climb or wall cling right after. It's called a Hansan, and it's really fast. Shoutouts to Hansans. This is Skolas and Suses, by the way. Sorry, I'm not really talking about them. They're two ogres. They both have separate health bars. I think they should be dead now. They have a lot of attacks. That was a really, really lucky fight. It's pretty RNG oriented. They can do a lot of dumb attacks. But we didn't get to see any of them. Luckily. Making that pretty fast. We're gonna advance into what is most people's favorite stage, Glacial Peak. I'll try to show off why it's most people's favorite stage. It's a really cool stage, pun intended. It's got a lot of rope darting, it's got a lot of cloud stepping, and it's overall very, very speedy. Trying to focus just a little bit. With the rope dart also comes a new technique called rope dart climbing, and it is kind of tough to do with my current setup. Some people remap the rope dart button to make it easier. I only do it in certain sections when I don't have to slash at all. Whoops, that was kind of slow. Rope dart climbing is basically jumping and then rope darting the wall so fast that you can jump right away. And it's a little bit faster than normal climbing. There's Halberd again. That's rope dart climbing. Wasn't perfect, but kind of tried to show it off a little bit. Cool little trick here. Let's see if I can get it. Nice. It's a one-tile wall jump. Those are pretty tough. Not gonna go for the Dragon Strike. Shout out to Dragon Strike. No. Ooh, that was sloppy. Still pretty fast Glacial Peak. Throw all of our shurikens away for style points. And that's the end of Glacial. Forgot to even mention the absolute banger that is the Glacial Peak theme. Very long cutscene. It's like 40 seconds, if I remember correctly. Allows you to have a small breather before arguably the hardest level in 8-bit. If only we could understand what these guys were saying. Now the lasers, there's a lot of them, and they deal 4 damage each, so... didn't get the strat. The lasers are very scary, even more scary than spikes, believe it or not. So we're gonna try and avoid them. This level is also it's got a lot of waiting. It's got some pretty cool strats that are all maybe just a little bit too scary to go for in a marathon. See if we can get this. Nice, got it. Ooh, and the Hansan at the end. Very cool. It involves a lot of these, this level involves a lot of these crystals, which you have to hit in order to disable lasers. You might see me hitting them through walls sometimes. Don't worry about that. We can just do that. Wizrobes being very nice. They can be real jerks on the stage, but so far, luckily not having to deal with them. Pretty cool room coming up. I'll see if I can go for the fast strat. Just a little bit worried. Didn't want to get crushed. Typically you don't want to get hit there. Now, we want to have 5 HP for this next part, which we do. Thanks to Wizrobes not being jerks. Because having 5 HP gives us enough to damage boost through this laser. This, by the way, another stage that, if you're familiar with the out of bounds route, this level's crazy in out of bounds. In a good way. Very happy about that HP refill. It's always there. Makes it slightly less stressful. You've saved up this last... oh, whoops. Set this last shuriken for this room, allowing us to go just slightly faster. This screen can be very hard if you're nervous, if you're on PB pace. Also, a way to damage boost through this room, which I'm not going for, because I'm not insane. And we're gonna reach the end of this stage shortly here. You'll see me hitting a what are these things called? Shard, whatever. You'll see me hitting one of these through the wall here. What I did there is cling onto the wall, slash, and then jump off the wall, making the slash actually go through the wall. It's pretty confusing, and it doesn't really make sense. Well, I guess it does make sense, but don't think about it. This section's really cool. It's called Ascent, or at least that's what we call it. No shurikens required for the boss fight. This is Arcane Golem. We want to stick to his head using our rope dart technology. That's bad. He claps, or it claps, knocking you away. You can actually time the rope dart to be at the same time as its claps, which will let you stick on for longer. I'm kind of failing to show it off here. Excuse me. There you go, like that. Pretty meh boss fight, but at least it wasn't slow. Didn't die or anything. Very nice. And that would mark the end of 8-bit, but we still have another hour and a half to go. We're gonna transform into a cooler ninja with a really cool hat. Just like the hat. Look at the hat. It's cool. It's awesome. In addition to the hat, we're now also in the future, meaning we're now 16-bit. This is Cloud Ruins. Another just amazing track to back it up. This level's got a lot of bottomless pits, as you'd expect from a level called Cloud Ruins. Not going for that damage boost in hopes of showing off a cooler run later in the level. It also includes this ghosts. Yes, it includes this ghosts. Which, those ghosts make for portable lanterns, so to speak. Well, I didn't even need the damage boost because I was too slow. They make for portable lanterns. You can rope dart onto them, but their behavior is kind of dumb sometimes, which can lead to some fairly tilting deaths. So hopefully we can avoid that here. This is Manfred. Or I guess we're not supposed to know he's Manfred yet, but spoilers, it's Manfred. He's a cool dragon. Likes to chase you down. Not gonna be too much of an issue. If you do run into him, he's instant death, so want to watch out for that. We're too slow to get that cycle, so I'm just gonna take the liberty of hitting those lanterns, getting some extra time shards. Oh, didn't mean to hit that thing 3 times. Oh well. You can hit that rock twice and then rope darted from the other screen. And it's cool, but I failed. Alright, this section I like to call Monka S Ghosts, because you're rope darting ghosts above a bottomless pit. Made it through. Very nice. Guess who's back? It's Manfred, here to chase us down once again. Auto-scrollers, Resident Sleeper. There's 3 of these chases in the level, this one being the longest. Now this can actually be kind of scary if you want to run ahead too much, because there are bottomless pits, and I've died to those bottomless pits a lot more than I'd like to admit. Luckily, since it's an auto-scroller, it doesn't really matter how fast you're going. But hey, at least we can make the joke, this auto-scroller is world record based. It's always positive. And straight into the third chase. This one's a little bit shorter than the last, and actually includes an enemy, which we'll see in a second. There he is. I won't kill him, usually I do, but he exists to bait you into dying, because he just runs into a bottomless pit in a second. Any second now. Trust me, just take my word for it, he's doing it. There he goes. So, on my first time playthrough, I was tempted to chase that enemy because I wanted to try and kill it. And then when it jumps into the bottomless pit, I jumped right after him. It's not a good idea. Alright, that's the end of the third chase. Now we're going to get into what is arguably the hardest boss fight in the game. It's Manfred. Who would have expected that? Alright, so there's a glitch here that, hold on, I'm gonna... decent. What? Too high. There's a glitch here that you almost saw me get at the start. Maybe you noticed that he was going in circles a lot. That can go on forever. I'm not exactly sure on the technicals. I don't know why it works, but it's called Manfred glitch, and it saves you a whole lot of time. Sadly, I didn't get it. I've never gotten it in a run. I've gotten it in practice like twice. Hey, there's what's he called? Oh, he was actually a demon. What a twist. Still a pretty decent boss fight though, I'd say. This is the Underworld. It's got another absolute banger to back it up. game's soundtrack is just phenomenal. It has the rainbow dragon eyes. Now this stage has a lot of lava, and lava instant kills you, so it's even scarier. You're not gonna believe this, but it's even scarier than spikes and lasers. What a world we live in. Oops. Got some pretty cool climbing in this stage. These enemies we like to call Mike Wazowskis. I don't know who came up with it, but they're Mike Wazowskis now. Typically I'd skip a checkpoint coming up, but this is a marathon, so probably not the best of ideas. The reason you saw me waiting there for a second is because you can rope dart fire— oh, whoops, didn't mean to go into the shop, whatever. Just say hi to the 16-bit shopkeeper for the first time. You can rope dart fireballs, and they just pull you down all the way into the lava, usually. Sometimes they let you go for some reason, and it's awful. And you don't want it to happen ever. So I played a little bit safe. This is one of my favorite rooms in this stage, because it's pretty. It's called Lava Chase. Got some cool rope darting. Got some cool cloud stepping. Leap of faith here. Hope not to get hit by any of the saw blades. Oh, whoops. Almost fell into the lava. Not quite. And that's the end of this stage. We're now gonna fight Barmathazel, which is the demon guy. Alright, so you might be thinking, why is he standing still? Well, I'll explain it to you. This fight starts with him doing his idle animation. And one of the things about this boss is you can't hit him with shurikens. So he has to do like a little reflect animation. And that reflect animation happens to reset his idle animation. So by timing our shurikens, we can just keep him idle there for a long time, making this a very easy boss fight. And if you need a bathroom break, if you need to grab anything to eat, this is the time, because this cutscene lasts 3 years just about, so go nuts. Luckily there's some great music here. Just a nice breather before going into the Metroidvania section of this game. But now we're the Western hero. What? What a twist. Bet you didn't see that coming. Maybe you would have seen it coming if the text wasn't in Japanese and I'd lied to read it for more than one frame. And now we find out the biggest twist of all. We're the next shopkeeper. So it's all a loop. But something goes wrong. I will find out. Just read the text and how many times are you gonna make this joke? So this guy is the new messenger. He has to carry the scroll up to the top of the mountain, like we did before him. You know, I would talk about something here as to what goes wrong, but I haven't died yet, so I can't really talk about it. Oh yeah, the ninja says, like, you become the hero from the west, or the Western hero. So that means you traveled so far to the east that you actually came back to your village from the west. It's a great line. Did I travel so far east that I came back to my village from the west? Also, something I forgot, just skimmed over. Manfred the dragon is our friend now. And as it turns out, we were supposed to keep track of this new messenger by looking into our crystal ball, which we didn't do. So now he's dead. And we have to do some stuff. And we don't actually get to be a shopkeeper. Feels bad, man. Cutscene's almost over. Now this is where the game opens up and sort of becomes a Metroidvania of sorts. A lot of portals will open. And now the game becomes about collecting notes for the music box that you saw standing in the middle of the room there. You also get a map now, which I'm a speedrunner, so I won't be using it. I know this game like the back of my thumb. Now we get to see all these levels in 16-bit. Isn't it beautiful? This is one of my favorite... I failed it, but there you go. There's a cool trick there, allowing you to jump over all of that with the momentum from the water boost. There's also some cool movements here that I'll try and show off to the best of my ability. Typically I go jump after this thing, but just gonna wait. Alright, so you snipe the caterpillar, rope dart that guy, jump, rope dart that guy. Oh my god, what was that? Wasn't that cool? Alright, now we need to do a one-tile wall jump. First try. There you go. Very nice. And collect our first music note. Now what that one-tile wall jump accomplished is it skips a whole bunch of stuff that you'd usually do before getting this note. Which is great, because that section really isn't that fun. So there you go. Alright. I'm gonna purchase an HP upgrade here. And use one of our portals. The green one this time. And now that we have all of our main movements upgrades, you're gonna start to see a lot of cool rope darting and wingsuit attacking. Just barely got that. Nice. If you use a cloud step in a gust of wind, you actually jump super high. So this section's pretty cool. Hopefully my controller's not being too loud. Oh, whoops. If so, I'm sorry. And we get to hear the 16-bit hey in a second. I'm stoked. Hey, there it is. Alright, let's try and go for this. Didn't get it. Okay, so what happened there? There's a lot to process. I'm gonna do it again. There you go. So there's this weird thing in this game. This is gonna take a little bit to explain. If you kill an enemy while an enemy of the same type is spawning, on the other side of the screen, you actually also kill that enemy. And if you kill an enemy while rope darting to it, you teleport to the enemy that's just spawned. And that might sound really confusing, and that's because it is, but it's a pretty cool trick. You'll see me using it hopefully twice. Or maybe 3 times, actually, if I end up going for it. like after this. That was already twice. So there's 4 times in the run where we actually get to use that. Now this is my favorite stage, not for good reasons, because runs die here, but I like the music a lot, and I think it looks nice. This stage has taken some inspirations from the indie classic Super Meat Boy in just placing saw blades absolutely everywhere. So I hope you like saw blades. Gonna take some time to grab extra lanterns, because why not? Doesn't really matter how slow you go here, because you're always gonna catch this one. Unless you go really, really slow. Damage boost to that one, and coming up is a trick affectionately named PP Skip, because PiranhaPig. There it is. Damageless too. I didn't really invent it, but I created a setup or whatever, and now it's PP Skip. Don't ask me how. And I got it first try, which is one of the scarier moments in the run, because if you fail that, that loses you a whole load of time. Now we got the, I can't remember what they're called, there's Tab Eye or something. If only the game wasn't on Japanese. They like to walk over water, even if that water includes spikes. You might start to see why a lot of runs die here. It's like the developers replaced the ground tile with spikes. At least we get to kill Wizrobes. We're gonna see the water boost be a little more useful here than it's ever been. This section, it's not my favorite, but we got through. Oh, perfect. I like never get that, so very nice. Coming up, another cool skip. Not really skip, mostly just a trick. It's referred to as a yeet. There you go. Carrying over that momentum throughout the entire room. Very fun and satisfying. Now, this room's absolute cake. And that's the first half done. Our goal here is to collect a moonstone thingy and a sunstone thingy to insert into this door. Whoops. Oh, nice, got the cycle. Kinda wants to kill that guy, but... Now there's an elevator here, but as you might have realized by now, we're speedrunners, so we skip that. Using the fireballs to take less damage. Getting that cycle. Using the weird arc of our slash to slash above us. This is why this is my favorite stage, by the way. It's got so much cool tech in it. It's a shame it's so difficult. Well, on one hand, it's a shame. On the other hand, it makes it all the more cool when you do well. Bad rope dart climb in there. Alright. Didn't mean to kill that guy, but there you go. And that's the end of Sunken Shrine. We have to do one more input, and that's going inside of this door. I know, riveting. We're gonna get a whole something. Can't even remember what it says. And that'll allow us to get our second note. Very cool. Yeah, this is also one of the longer cutscenes in the game. But there you go, it's over now. Showing off some more cool stuff while leaving. A lot of button mashing, hopefully, again, my controller's not being too loud here. Want to swim up as fast as possible. Now here's another teleport coming up. Unfortunate, failed it. That's fine. You can teleport there. It's one of the better ones to do, but hey. Didn't want to get it anyway. Cries. If you slightly mistime the teleport thing, what we do to teleport is slash and then immediately rope dart afterwards, because that means the enemy will die as we reach it, and since the other enemy also dies, or dies slightly later or something, you can teleport. And again, it's really confusing and doesn't really make any sense, at least to me. We're gonna backtrack a little bit more, all the way over to Bamboo Creek. Now this is where my controller is gonna start really maybe getting loud. Because this is really climb intensive, and I'm going to try to rope dart climb as much as possible. Using that weird slash behind the wall trick again to get that block, and just skipping a ton. Fopkins in chat. In addition to collecting all the loads, yes, we're calling them loads now. All right. We're also collecting Fopkins, which are those little guys. They build a bridge in Sunken Shrine, or not Sunken Shrine, Forlorn Temple. We need to collect 4 of them. We already collected 1 of them earlier in the catacombs, if you remember. We gotta collect 4 of them in total, and they'll build the bridge for us. Very nice of them. Shoutouts to the Fopkins. They're very cute. And they're all placed in spots that they're most afraid of. For example, the one we just rescued was in a tight space. He's called Claustro. One we rescued over in the catacombs was called Necro. It's all very cute. It's actually the slower method, but I don't like to lose that much HP. It's fast to just go through the spikes. Oops. If you ever see me walkling like that, it's probably a mistake. Chances are it's just me goofing. We're gonna backtrack all the way through this stage and then over on to the catacombs, because Ruxton, he didn't really want to be evil anymore after he saw how nice we were. So he left us something. Now, for some context, the 16-bit world is actually 500 years in the future. So this is Ruxton's grave, F. He left us his amulet and his staff, which he placed all the way over in Glacial Peak, which we'll see later. Just a little bit more backtracking to go. Coming up to one of the coolest sections in the run. In my opinion. Though backtracking through catacombs is not the best. Because it still maintained its theme of spikes. Excellent. That Wizard was a real jerk. Oh, I'll get wrecked. I've never done that before. Hey. Alright, almost done with backtracking. At least for now. I want one of those paintings in my house, by the way. The ones that are just Ruxton's face. Alright, this is Dark Cave. It's something. I've memorized the entire layout. It's really cool to see for the first time. It's not a school learning it. I made a mistake. Alright, thank you. Forgot to rope dart. So this is just basically a small little stage that you're supposed to have a candle for, but to get the candle you have to go through an entire fetch quest, and we like to skip that, because in case you haven't noticed, we're speedrunners. There you go. That's the end of Dark Cave, going into my least favorite stage probably. Well, Forlorn Temple also exists. One of my least favorite stages. Mostly because there's a lot of waiting in this one, and it's really hard. You can actually skip this teleporter, though it doesn't really save any time. It's also got these things, which I don't like, because they feel really slow. And it's got these flowers, and you can get shot out of these cannons, you'll see it in a second here, and bounce off the flowers, so it's got a lot of puzzles with the flowers and aligning them right. It's not a speedy stage, you know? But it's still got one of the coolest tricks in the run, so look forward to that. Nice rope dart. Water is also instant death, by the way, and this is flowing water, so we can't actually walk on it using our tab eye. A little bit of Mario over here. This is not the way you're supposed to do this. I kinda did a little bit of a derp. Alright, I'm done with that room. Now here comes one of the coolest tricks in the run. As I said, birds are jerks, but this one actually helps us a little bit. We use the rope dart momentum throughout the entirety of that screen, and then into this one. No, I missed. I can make it. I can't make it. I missed my rope dart. That's fine. It's our first death. Kind of disappointed, but hey. This is Squirble. We haven't seen him at all. He's our companion that helps us come back to life. We're just gonna do it again. Oh, come on. I'm gonna miss that twice in a row. Right, so normally I have damage boosts through here, but I don't have HP anymore because I died. And respawning only brings you back to 3 HP. Guess I can go for that one. That one doesn't save as much time, but there you go. You're gonna see, usually you'd solve these puzzles by slashing these things, but we like to skip those, because again, it's a speed run. This one we do actually have to solve. See, it's slow. I don't like it. Oops. Don't do that. Coming up is a trick that I like to call the bane of my existence. It's the absolute worst. We use this little thingy. Bounce off that bird. I failed it, so I'm gonna have to go for the backup, I guess. Which is really rough. Mike Wazowski's, please. Alright, so the backup is like actually 3 years slower. And now there's also this situation to deal with. You have to wait there. I've done this backup enough to know that I die if I don't wait there. Kind of sad that I failed it, but at least we didn't die. Usually the backup kills me, because it's a lot slower and harder. This is the boss of the stage. It looks really cute right now, but it's actually an evil bat. Now this boss fight revolves around invisible platforms that it reveals as it goes along. But I actually know where the platforms are at. Whoops. You can keep hitting it off the screen, so I did more damage there than you're supposed to. Really? I didn't get it? It must be like one hit away right now. That sucks. You can kill it over there, which usually I get, but unfortunate. Alright, don't want to die. Please? Alright. That was one of the messiest boss fights I've ever had, but you know what? We're gonna roll with it. I'm gonna death warp. That was intentional. That's one of the most annoying levels done with, so very happy about that. I'm gonna pay another visit to our favorite Howling Grotto. This is just like, this stage is right in the center of the map, so it allows us to go pretty much everywhere. There's like some shortcuts built in too. like this one. That not only takes us over to Quillshrew Marsh, where we are right now. It's the only time we're gonna see Quillshrew Marsh in 16 bits, so there you go. It then shortly also transitions into Searing Crag, so very nice. This section is one of my least favorite. Controls are very floaty. What a surprise. So it doesn't really allow it to go very fast. Opening this portal, which will be useful later. Oops, don't want to go inside it yet. Oh, nice, got the one tile. That does not happen very often. It's the fastest way to that screen. Aside from like some small movements, mistakes that I made. Birds are jerks, as always. If you go too slow here, you're gonna have every single enemy in the entire screen on top of you. We can deal with it though. Small little tidbit here. You want to actually talk to the green one and not the red one, because it saves you a small bit of time of them walking over to you. Trust me, it exists. Sounds stupid. That's because it is. See? They only have to walk like one step. Shout out to Colos and Suses for kicking us over to the third note. Which is over in this little separate area over here. No. Small weird little gimmick quirk, I guess. If you rope dart something in a different time zone, like that's in the past or in the future, going through a portal while rope darting actually makes you go super fast. So that's pretty neat. Isn't really used anywhere in this run though. I'm gonna grab this checkpoint here just for safety purposes. Typically I wouldn't, but hey. If I died, it would have been really bad. So there's another teleport thingy here. Didn't get it, unfortunately. I've only gotten that once. That one once. That one's pretty hard to get. Want to grab that one high, because if you grab it too low, you go straight into some spikes. Believe it or not, that's a bad thing. This transition's also kind of scary because there's some spikes right below you. Made it through though. That's played slightly safer than I usually do. And now we're gonna free the Queen of Quills using our fairy friend. Another pretty long cutscene. There you go. That's a very long quest. Basically, we went all the way to Riviere, which was the water level that I forgot to mention was called Riviere. To get that fairy, to free the monk, which is the Queen of Quills, And we're gonna see her a little bit later, and all that to get a note. There's two options here. You can either go straight to the Elemental Skylands, which is the next stage, or you can go over here to the Underworld and free our boy Pyro. Phobkins in chat. And also collect a note, which is down here. You have to do both, it's just the order that you decide to do them in. I wanted to go up for style points, but it ended up not paying off. Welcome back to the Underworld. We've all missed it very much. This time it's 8-bit, which means there's a lot more lava here. Basically, throughout this thing, or this stage, I never let go of my tab I button, which in my case is the right trigger, because it allows you to go over lava. I've died plenty of times due to just not holding the button, and it's the most embarrassing thing of all time. So I'd like to avoid it, if at all possible. I'm pretty sure you can make that cycle, but spooky. Not taking any unnecessary risks. Except if it's cool. In which case, I'm definitely taking risks. Now, these bats are very determined to chase us, and they're going to chase us right into the lava, killing themselves and giving me some nice drops. Shoutouts to the bats. That was very scary. I usually take that a little bit slower, but it works out here. And that's going to be note number 4, if I'm keeping track correctly. Say hi to the shopkeeper once more. Alright, we're gonna play through the last bit of Searing Crags and the first bit of Glacial Peak real quick. Because there's something we need to do over there. Alright, please get over the thing. I kind of already spoiled it earlier, but... Luckily there's this rope here that we don't even use, we just jump all the way up. But at least the rope's there just to help us morally. Or mentally, or whatever. It's there for moral sports, what I'm trying to say. Getting to see Glacial Peak once again, always a treat, except if you fail stuff. Please shoot me. The backup there, just using a bullet from that enemy to get up there instead. Definitely not as clean as my first Glacial Peak. That's so cool. Hey, this is where we're gonna meet the monk. He's gonna break the ice by starting a great conversation. Get it? And then we're gonna go, and then we're gonna go into 16-bit. And we're gonna find Manfred trapped in some ice, so we gotta strike up a nice conversation and break the ice. I'll be here all week. And I hope you like auto-scrollers, because there's some auto-scrollers coming up. Now, this part of the run, it's kind of annoying, because you're riding Manfred, and every time you press the attack button, he shoots out a fireball. So our goal is to shoot these out as fast as possible by mashing. Especially on the boss fight, which we'll get to in a second. And by a second I mean 10 minutes. It's one of the longer levels, mostly because auto-scrollers are slow. Another very good song. Hardly surprising at this point. Now I might go out of my way to do a cool trick that doesn't really save any time, but it's cool. I've never actually gotten it in no out of bounds. It's really easy in out of bounds. Or at least, you don't have to go out of your way in out of bounds. I didn't get it. Oh, I did. Alright. I didn't. So you can make that red spike ball, one of these guys, follow you all the way over that screen. Do the teleport thing, and then teleport onto this screen. It's cool. It rarely happens though. Would have been pretty nice if I got it. Hey. Another auto-scroller. Really fun. Lots of intense tech going on. Most of these auto-scrollers are just here to help you get some money. Disperse the final upgrades we're gonna have in this run. Ow. Don't actually want to get hit too much. It's bad. Should be moving around more. Onto the second Skyland. This one's Earth. And we're gonna skip most of this one, even though the Skylands are already pretty short, but this one becomes even shorter due to a trick. Usually you get to the right here after becoming 8-bit, but we can use a damage boost to get up here right away. Saving like half a minute, I think. These yellow caterpillars jump at whenever you do. So you might see me like jump to try and rope dart one. Whee! Even more auto-scrolling, Resident Sleeper. It's a good thing the stage has such good music, because otherwise it would be very boring. We're aiming to have like 1,000 time shards at the end of the stage, which might sound impossible, but believe me, it's possible. Improbable, sure, but hey. Alright. Second to last. This one's, I think, the longest. Which is saying nothing, because this one's pretty short as well. There's a cool little water boost there you can get, but it's really tight. And we also skip most of this one. Just gonna take a lot of damage here. No, okay. Back up, boys. Let's go. By us staying on one side and using all of the tridents to get up there. Check this out. These are fun. By the way, we're coming up on the last Skyland. 3 guesses as to what it's going to be. So far, we've had wind, earth, water, and it's called Elemental Skylands. My bet is that it's... can't think of a witty joke. Whatever. It's probably fire, let's be honest. JK, I already know. I've played this game before. Don't think we're gonna hit the 1000 mark, that's fine. Excellent damage. The Fire Skyline just mostly includes a lot of lava. Hey. Small, just tiny little skip at the end there. Almost at the end of the stage. Only thing left is the boss fight. Now this boss fight, I might have to be a little bit quiet because it involves a lot of mashing. And I'm bad at talking while mashing. It's the Clockwork Concierge. Gotta do that 3 times. Mashy mashy. Once more, I'll be done. Alright, there we go. Pretty decent. It kills my arm. But there you go. That was some pretty decent mashing. And that's going to allow us to get our notes. So let's recap. We went all the way over to Riviere, got the ferry, freed the monk broke the ice, got Manfred, and then we can get this note finally. Now usually that quest would be even longer because you needed the candle to get to Dark Cave. This is like the longest fetch quest in the game. And also the only one. I'll spare you the rest of the quest. Alright. Now we're gonna get our final Phobkin, called Acro, who's afraid of heights. Guess where he's gonna be. I'm not waiting for you to guess. It's in Cloud Ruins. Poor little fella. All the way up in the sky. Now this is where we're finally Gonna use Ruxin's amulet. Oops. And find his staff who's frozen to teleport up to Cloud Ruins. This is a pretty tough stage. There's a lot of bottomless pits. Plenty of runs have died. So let's not try, or let's try and not do that. That's not what you're supposed to do whatsoever. Excuse me. Nice, made it through. Skip the checkpoint because we're insane. And because I forgot to take the checkpoints. You can actually clip through that. It happened to me yesterday, no, 2 days ago. Where I clipped through that crusher and the crusher took me back to the wall and it was frightening. Good thing that run didn't PB. Because I clipped. And that's not allowed, no out of bounds. Suboptimal. Also suboptimal, but at least it was pretty fast. Thanks for the HP. Whoops. Come on now. This section is a little bit annoying. Gotta be pretty fast. Using some damage boosts. Make it up here. Excellent. Damage boost through there. Beat this one. And wow. Fastest boy ever. Deja vu. Okay. I accidentally got onto the wall. That was really scary. Finally get to show off that strat, because I failed it the first time. There you go. Gonna grab a little bit of safety HP. Into Monka S Ghosts 2.0. Featuring even scarier bottomless pits, falling platforms, and just a lack of platforms in general. And these ghosts have some weird little quirks, where sometimes if you rope dart them, they don't give you cloud step, so thanks for not doing that. Oh wow, I carried over the ghost all the way to the screen. Never happened before. Birds are jerks, as we've established. I'm gonna ask about the safe, because I took damage. Sometimes you can go through those using invincibility frames. I am very frightened. Thank you for all the HP drops. I had to play that a little bit safe. Maybe could have done it without it, but the bird was looking scary. Glad I didn't just YOLO it. Because I ended up getting a ton of HP. Almost at the end. Just a little bit longer. Two more screens, I believe. 3 more screens. I always forget this one exists because it's barely even a challenge. Oh shit, did I say that? Or, oh shoot, did I say that out loud? Sorry. Final Fopkin. Gonna be able to purchase our final upgrade. Menuing is just atrocious. Now we have all 4 Fopkins. Pyro, Necro, Acro, and Claustro. And we're gonna be able to go to Forlorn Temple because they fixed the bridge for us. Gonna see the rest of Autumn Hills in 16-bit. Apparently, in the 500 years, all the grounds just disappeared because there's tons and tons of bottomless pits now. It's Fireball, man. Excuse me. That's not how this is supposed to go. Whoops. Honestly, one of the least interesting stages. No real cool movement here either. Just general rope darting. And now, going on to Forlorn Temple, my arch nemesis. All the Fopkin are here. Fopkin. They've repaired the bridge for us, and we're ready to go. Now this stage, let me tell you about this stage. I don't like it, for good reason, I'd say. I'll let you know when we get to certain areas that I particularly dislike. In Out of Bounds, we just skip this in level entirely. This is like the biggest downside of no Out of Bounds. It's not a terrible level. I mean, it's well designed and it's cool to play through on a casual playthrough, but there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of wizrobes, like here. And sometimes they just teleport right above you so you can't use the rocket. Just an all-time classic, to be honest. That's like really rare, by the way. That never happens. But of course it happens now. A lot of Mike Wazowski's here. Hopefully they don't stop us from taking off. Good. We got trapped. Also, these rockets, not my favorite. They are kind of annoying to control. And this screen, my goodness, do I hate this screen. 2 wizrobes combined with slow-moving platforms and spikes. Can you spell hell? It's not that bad. It's really annoying when you're just starting out with this category, but I've kinda gotten used to it. Just gonna be safe here. It's also got some really cool strats, like this room, not bad. See, that's kinda cool. Luckily, we can use shurikens to activate these levers. Almost fell down there. Coming up. Really cool strat. Let's see if I can get it. Nice. That's very good. That strat's pretty hard. And I was really afraid of missing it. Mostly my my dislike for the stage stems from back when I wasn't as good. And I say that it's not meant to be like a brag thing. But especially there's 2 rooms coming up that are absolutely relentless if you're not very good at the game. I'll mention them when I get there. This sort of being one of them, though this one can just be like, that one's pretty easy. Really? Birds are jerks. This definitely being one of them. In reality, it's not that hard. I got hit once. Feels bad. That one's a pretty tough one. The trick there is just to go fast. Nothing else to it. And this also being one. Super Meat Boy is back. Didn't mean to take a hit there. Or there. Or there. Good stuff. Luckily, we're about at the end of the stage, so we're gonna get an HP refill. For a boss fight that is ridiculously easy, casually, but the quick kill is pretty tough. I'll see what I can do. Well, that was just the worst. This is the standard way of killing him. The timing there is really tight for sticking onto him. If you jump too fast, he's going up to, like, he rubber bands to you. So if you jump too fast while slashing, he actually just shoots up past you. I'm very glad I got a relatively quick kill. If you jump too slow, he also just goes back past you. God, sentences are hard. Oh wait, I'm supposed to grab this. Sorry, I was scratching my nose. And then there's this section. It takes a little while, and if you ever get hit, you get knocked all the way down to the bottom. Shoutouts to me from a couple months ago. When that happened in BSG. That was fun. BSG flashbacks. That's gonna be the boss fight. Not too bad. Gonna take this opportunity to take a sip. That's gonna grant us the crown, the demon crown. Which will allow, everything in this game is linked to each other. It's pretty interesting, but explaining it is like really tiresome. It's like, oh, well, this will allow us to open a portal to some other place that'll get us a note. Whoopsie-doo. This level's a nice little breather. There is a trick. It's a very scary trick. It can soft lock. So we're gonna hope not to do that. But it can happen. for the most part, this level is just strolling through an eldritch horror. It's got way too many eyes. Alright. Don't want to miss the rope dart. It's one of my favorite stages in Out of Bounds, too. Also one of the most difficult stages in Out of Bounds. Interesting little quirk here, you can just straight up... Oh, I was too slow. You can walk through this thing if you're in the 16-bit world. It's pretty goofy. Music in here is also very good. It's not as much of a banger per se, it's just chill. Now, the stage after this is actually the hardest stage in the game. So it's pretty nice of the game to give us like a little breather before going into it. Alright, here it comes, the trick. If I die, we've soft locked. You've got to be kidding me. Just kidding. Haha. Wonder how many people fell for that. It's fine, this is what's supposed to happen. I couldn't... I feel like that was the worst acting job of all time. I promised the community I would do a goof about dying. But, I couldn't. Memes. Alright, time. For the, not time. For the, I wanted to say time for the hardest stage, not like finish the timer time. That might have been confusing. Don't. Oopsies. Nerves, man. Nerves are getting to me. I'm scared of this stage. This is a really difficult stage. So we'll see. First we're gonna get a bit of story. Unfortunately we're gonna skip it. A music box. Sometimes you forget to do dialogue. Happens. This is the music box. It's the hardest stage in the game, bar none. It's also got a very good track called A Melody to Break the Curse. Classic. Didn't mean to get it there. Interesting thing about this stage's cycles, they're actually based on the music. If you listen, like, there's beats that go like da 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 da, and that's what the cycles are based on. I'm gonna play this a little bit safe because I do die here sometimes. You can just hold it right though. I'm just gonna get hit by everything in the stage, just because. Because we want to make it more tense. Just kind of get hit by everything in the stage, actually. I don't think anyone's ever been hit by that thing, but life happens. At least I made the cycle, so. You might think, well, everything is hitting you, but you're not dying. That's true. So far, there's not been a whole lot of threat of dying, except that you just get hit by everything. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Now, there's a very cool strat here. I already opted not to go for it by killing that bird. But you can basically skip this entire screen. It's probably the hardest strat in the entire game, I'd say. So, and if you fail it, you die. That's why I didn't go for it. I've done it once in practice, in like 17 attempts. Now, because the cycles are based on the music, you can go inside shops to reset the cycles, and before the song actually starts, don't know what happened there. There's a couple of seconds where nothing's happening. Sorry, that took way too long to explain. So that's why sometimes you'll see me go inside shops to catch certain cycles. There's also some puzzle rooms in this stage, which we solve, sort of, but we break the game to do so. Normally these take a little bit longer, but whoops. Next room is one of my least favorite rooms. Lots of runs die here. Played a little bit safe. I think that's pretty fair. Gonna play this one safe as well. Except I'm not. Whoa. Didn't expect that. Well, I'm not catching this cycle. I can tell you that much. Can I just make more mistakes on this screen? Okay, that's... You can catch the cycle with this crusher, because you have to get on top of it. If you miss the cycle, that's actually a lot of time loss, which sucks. But we'll live. Classic. Coming up is like a small shuriken snipe. The pixel perfect, we call it. Let's see if I can get it here. There we go. Nice. Skips having to do this room. Snipe those two. Another fun glide screen. Before another puzzle room that we're just gonna destroy by using all the quirks. Go into this shop, allowing us to walk past this area here. See if I can beat the cycle. Hell yeah. Alright, so far so good. A little bit of breathing room here. That sucks. Alright. Time for the boss fight, almost. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Because this run's actually pretty good. Alright, this is Phantom. He's like Ganon. Mostly that he wants to play tennis with us. I'm not a fan of tennis though, I prefer golf. Using the invincibility frames from our rope dart here to an excellent degree. Intense mechanical skill going on here, aka me mashing 2 buttons. Come on, no damage. The dream's alive. Again, not gonna play tennis with him. Perfect boss fight. Absolutely amazing. Damageless Phantom. Pretty nice. Now it's time, say it with me, to do the thing. Time's coming up in a little bit. Time. Dude, I'm pretty sure that's a PB. That's cool. It might be a PB loadless. I don't know what the loadless time is, but that was an insane run nonetheless.